gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for the opportunity we have here this evening. Lord, as we look through our lobby here today, thinking of all the women that have blessed us and all the things they've done here for our lives, Lord, how lucky and blessed we are. And Lord, thank you for that young group of young ladies and all their accomplishments. And Lord, we just ask that you bless them as they go through life. Now, God, please give this city commission knowledge and wisdom to make the decisions that are in your best interest. Please look over all of our employees, Lord, and keep them safe. For all these things we ask in your precious heavenly name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First on our agenda is approval of our minutes from our regular meeting on February the 22nd. They have been distributed. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, I need a motion. So moved. We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Second. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Oath of office. New police officers. Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. It's my privilege and honor to introduce a couple of new officers. My apologies to Officer Bryce Riley's family if you're here with us. I understand they drove from Tampa, but Bryce is tied up at the county jail with a prisoner and he's not going to be here.
At least we got that.
Moving on. Officer David Carter. David Carter was born in Massachusetts but grew up in California. After college, he became an officer for the California Highway Patrol. He served for 17 years before his retirement. During his career, he was a motor officer, CHIPS, for 15 years, along with being a defensive tactics and firearms range instructor. He and his wife, Christy, have been married for 16 years, have 2 kids, Savannah and Jackson. He and his family wanted to get out of California and come to live and work in a better environment. Officer Dominic Donald. Officer Donald is from Orlando. He was raised by a single mother who always supported him in his endeavors. In 2014, Officer Donald enlisted in the Army National Guard, currently serves as a section sergeant for Mortar Platoon. He has completed 2 deployments, the first to Djibouti, Africa, and his most recent to Hasaka, Syria. He graduated from Valencia College with an AA degree in criminal justice, and soon after he continued his education path through the police academy. Dominic is looking forward to a happy life together with his wife Janice and their rambunctious daughter Isla. It is with the perseverance, resilience, and sacrifice of his wife and the admiration of his daughter that fueled him through his journey. The gentleman will administer the oath. If you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Dominic Donald,
You solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the laws of the state of Florida,
the laws of the state of Florida,
and the charter and ordinances
and charter and ordinances
of the city of Winter Garden,
of the city of Winter Garden,
that I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of a police officer
perform the duties of a police officer
for the city of Winter Garden,
for the city of Winter Garden,
so help me God.
so help me God.
The Foundation Academy award-winning state champion, national champion, world champion cheerleading group.
Close. Keep you in suspense for a minute longer. Good evening. My name is Donna Corbus. I'm the Sustainability Coordinator here, and I'm also the Coordinator for Art in Public Places. So hopefully you've had a chance to look at some of the photographs of some of our amazing women throughout history. This exhibit is actually called West Orange Women Making History Part 2. Part 1 was last year. The walls on our gallery are filled with images and stories of strong and dedicated women who helped make Orange County and Winter Garden the great place it is today. If you haven't had a chance to browse the gallery, the exhibit's going to be here until March 28th. Also, Winter Garden recently had some other young women make history. In February, the Foundation Academy varsity cheerleaders competed in the NHSCC and the World Cheerleading Championship. They delivered 3 outstanding performances that led to their triumphant capture of both the national and the world titles. So tonight, during Women's History Month, the City of Winter Garden would like to recognize these young athletes with the Mayoral Award of Excellence. Please welcome Assistant Athletic Director Crystal Thomas Smith and the Foundation Academy cheerleader.
Let's go Lions! Let's go Lions! Let's go Lions! Let's go Lions! Let's go Lions!
Fabiana Aguirre.
Congratulations.
Riley Deshawn. Tristan Deshawn. Taylor Dunn. Tinsley Fisher. Kendall Johnson.
Go ahead.
Erica Kimes. Haley Lambert. Abby Langhoff. Rylan Miriam. Skylar Malarney. Grace O'Hay. Ellie Perfetto. Presley Powell. Ella Reuter. Mia Sanders. Gabrielle Swart. Jamie Williams.
Right there.
Alexandra Zabik. And we had 4 girls that couldn't be here tonight. Ava Morrison, Shyla Pemble, Caroline Prutney, and Brianna Ramirez. Many.
With black, with all the girls, the championships presented at Foundation Academy, and they're wonderful cheerleading team. So thank you so
We want to get in there with our
much.
team because
Come on, everybody.
everyone loves.
Commissioner, get in.
Where do you want to press?
Nobody moves till everybody's finished.
All right, Mark, smile.
Under regular business, recommendation to approve distribution of the JAG grant. Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Fiscal year 23 local solicitation, the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program is earmarked $15,049 for the Winter Garden Police Department. We are requesting to utilize this money to purchase equipment related to an active shooter response related to the schools. This equipment would consist of ballistic shields, entry toolkits, and weapon optic enhancements. Additional funding may be required. In addition to the grant award, we're requesting to purchase the equipment to use a law enforcement trust fund, an amount not to exceed $5,000 to accomplish this. Staff would recommend approving distribution of the awarded grant funds and the trust funds to purchase the active shooter response equipment. We must allow for public comment and be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the commission? Okay, we'll open up to the public if anyone really wishes to speak. Thank you, Chief, for reminding me of that. Now, we will close that, and we need a motion.
Motion to approve the 2023 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Fund for $15,049 plus an additional $5,000 for added equipment. Is that the request there? Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Recommendation to approve ground lease agreement with Boys and Girls Club. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. The City of Winter Garden and the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida have agreed to enter into a 35-year ground lease agreement and operating agreement to solid govern the terms and relationship involving the real property owned by the city located at 459 9th Street, Winter Garden, Florida. The Boys and Girls Club will develop, improve, operate, and maintain this new facility, which will be constructed in 2 phases under the named city-owned property. As part of this agreement, the city also agrees to contribute $1.5 million towards the later construction of phase 2. The operating presence of the Boys and Girls Club in the Winter Garden community will address well-needed services and programming for Winter Garden students K through 12, and also will address some of the additional multi-use meeting space that's needed by the community to help serve residents and some of our non-for-profit organizations. With that, staff recommends approval of the ground lease agreement between the city and the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida, authorizing the city manager to execute this agreement. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the commission?
One city manager, looking at the diagrams, I was unsure, are we doing the whole parking lot in one particular phases? I kind of looked at that, and was unsure how we were handling it.
There's a portion of it's gonna be improved.
Okay.
Surface parking, and then a portion of it's gonna remain grass.
So we're just gonna leave that for grass for now, so it's not gonna be paved in either phase, but we could potentially do it in a future date.
Correct.
Would that, so the follow-up question, would that be the leasee or the leaseor that would do that upgrade?
Well, the agreement, as it's written today, would provide that they're responsible for the construction, so therefore they would be responsible for the construction.
I'm good either way, I'm wondering how that would happen. All right.
They're gonna use the contributions from McCoy. To do that, so.
Mayor,
Yes.
just a couple of clarifications. In your packet, the attached document, I think, is the Exhibit C, even though it does not seem to have that label on, so that should be labeled, which I think will be done. The second thing is on that exhibit, you can see phase 1 and phase 2. If you look at sheet 2A of that document, you can see phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is and phase 2 both front on 9th Street. So phase 1 would be constructed first, phase 2 would follow that. And then that's just for clarification. And the parking lot, I think, as the city manager and Commissioner Mueller mentioned and Mark mentioned, would be done as you'd have a portion done as part of phase 1 and 2, but that could be adjusted. The last thing is under section 3, the last paragraph there. It provides a blank for when the Boys and Girls Club project must get a building permit and commence construction. And if the commission sees fit to approve this, I suggest that you give the city manager the authority to negotiate that time period, because I think they don't have a firm date yet. But if you want to give some direction to the city manager or give him authority to do that, that would be helpful. And then as to exhibits A and B, you can see from the exhibit C that the city owns the 6.7 acres, which is described in the recitals, and the 2.5 acres, the legal description for exhibit B, is going to be finalized consistent with the exhibit. So they just didn't have time, I think, to get those documents, exhibits A and B, finalized, but with your direction and motion, I think the city manager, you can give the city manager authority to confirm that those exhibits A, B, and that date are subject to consistency with exhibit C, which is attached to the packet, the ground lease in the packet. That's it.
Okay, sir. Any questions from the commission?
I just want to thank staff. It's been a long time coming, a lot of work. I want to mention Randy June's name, because this was kind of his brainchild to start this and get the money for it, something we talked about probably 10, 15 years ago, and we got done a lot of private donations to get this done, and then the city stepping in, which I'll comment more during commissioner comments, but I want to thank the city and the private investment on this. Thank you, Mark, for taking this across the finish line too. Appreciate it. Good stuff. Okay.
I assume you're going to go ahead with the motion.
Yes, sir. Now, Kurt, can I just reference your comments?
Certainly. I move to approve, subject to comments from city attorney and the city manager.
You got it. Okay, recommendation to approve the ground lease agreement with the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida. Authorize the city manager to execute the agreement. Also authorize the city manager to negotiate the permit deadline, I guess. And also adding the previous city attorney's Arterman's comments.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries unanimously. Randy's gonna be excited.
Yes, he is.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Matters and citizens of Winter Garden.
My name is Tim Grosshans. I live at 1686 Juniper Hammock Street, Winter Garden, Florida. I've been asked to represent Foundation Academy in expressing our appreciation for not only City Commission, but city employees, and the support and encouragement the school has had over the years. The success of the school has been greatly enhanced because of this relationship, and so we deeply appreciate your support, particularly our recommendations, the references of the cheerleaders tonight. I say, I have a question. Has there ever been a world championship team from Winter Garden?
Oh. Not that I know of.
Well, we have one now.
We do, yeah.
Thank you.
That's great, thank you.
You need to learn one of those cheers, Tim.
They were gonna do more, but they, with all the metal they like that, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Iliana Jones. I'm known by Dawn. I live in the Graysfield community, and I thank you for allowing me to speak. One thing I'd like for you all to consider is this. When Oviedo had all that flooding, one of the commissioners got a grant to bring in sand to help offset the flooding in that area. I live in Graysfield by the canal, and that 429 project is hideous. The water is stagnant in the canal, it's not going anywhere. And so, if you all could look into applying for a grant to bring in some sand to help us that live on the canal down in Graysfield, it would be greatly appreciated, because it's just destroying our property when the rain comes. And like I say right now, that water is just sitting there in the canal going nowhere. There's all kind of garbage and trash in there. So the county is not doing anything. And so if you all can have some kind of influence in that matter, I would appreciate it. And not to prolong my time, God bless you all.
Thank you, John. We'll look into that, ma'am. Okay, anyone else? Okay, matters from our city attorney.
Pass, Mayor.
City manager.
Yeah, just a couple of brief items. We have tickets for evening at the Pops. I would ask that if you are interested in attending, please RSVP to me by no later than March 21st. The Chamber's also having a legislative recap luncheon on April 4th. It's from 12 to 1:30. Also, if you could RSVP to me and let me know if you're interested in attending that, because we have not secured the table at this point in time. Just a couple budgetary items. I've authorized payment to CrowdStrike, which is our cybersecurity provider. We're in year 2 of 3 of the contract. This year's amount cost was $78,575.17. We budgeted $80,650, so we're a little under budget in that respect. And also to Axon, which is the cameras that the police officers wear. If you remember, you approved that contract back in October, so we're in year 1 of that. The actual amount of that contract was $124,783.38, and we budgeted $125,000.
Commissioner Sherman.
I will pass this evening.
Commissioner Mason.
I just want to make a quick comment about the Boys and Girls Club. I know we get a lot of comments that the city is buying property at East Winter Garden. Now, this is an example of what we do with that property when we purchase it. We didn't sell it to the Boys and Girls Club, we gave it to the Boys and Girls Club, as we do with Habitat for Humanity and other nonprofit organizations. We get this property so we can do great things for the community with it, usually at no charge, so they can keep their prices down, or costs down. But I just want to thank the city for getting this across the finish line. This is a long time coming. It's been great. Thank you. I'm done.
Commissioner Mueller.
Just a reminder, Celtic Fest starts tomorrow down at Buchanan and goes through Sunday. So please enjoy your green beer.
Commissioner Bennett.
I'll pass.
Okay. I'm gonna start off. I've been doing this for a long time, and never quite seen the campaign and literature that I have witnessed in the last few weeks. And there's one, Florida Blue, Florida something, and I just hope that none of our candidates are involved in that. It's just kind of nasty and not something that we in Winter Garden are used to. So I've had more people email me, text me, call me, and come to my house on things that they've received, things that they have read, than I have ever in any campaign. Everybody knows I don't do social media. I don't read a lot of that stuff. I try to stay away from it, but I have been, I won't say inundated, but I have had a lot of things brought over. I've had a lot of questions asked of me of these things. One of them I'm going to start out with, and this is Ron. In my re-election, the endorsements from John Rees and Lisa Bennett are predictable. given their extensive business relationship with the Ramos family, from which they stand to gain financially if their preferred candidates win, he said. It's disheartening to see board members willing to trade their endorsements for personal gain. So my comment, Ron, if you have anything on that, proof on that, documentation on that, then bring it forward. If you don't, then I think you need to admit that this is not a true statement. Period. Okay? Because this is what our observer printed and said that you said. I didn't even know really what the Ramos family did until I was in John's office a couple weeks ago and we looked it up. I have not gotten anything from them, and no lease I hadn't either. Not one penny. So if you have anything on that, I suggest you bring that forward. Because I don't appreciate it. Okay. Next is something that was dropped off. You want to know why we wouldn't do anything. It's a lady on something social media. I'd like to express my gratitude to Commissioner Ron Mueller for being the sole public official to take action on the problematic intersection at Park, Avalon, and Oakland Avenue. We have all been beating on that and trying to get that done. Where she would come up with that kind of statement, I've called and asked her, but haven't got a return call. And I think we know where it came from. Reading other things that has been handed me that's been put on people's doors on social media. Navigating challenges posed by some board members with unchecked development interest, I remain steadfast in prioritizing cautious growth. The only commissioner to publicly speak out on the impacts of the OCPS bus depot on Story Road, if I remember right, I think every commissioner here spoke out against that. You're proud to say you're the only commissioner that's not a developer, not a realtor, large landowner, or in retail construction. I don't think I fall in any of those. I'm not sure that Colin and so, but that doesn't keep them from doing their job. Recognize the importance of financial stability for every family run to successfully lower taxes. I cannot think of an instance where that has happened. And once again, I want to say, if anybody on the commission here or any staff member, if I'm saying anything wrong, anything incorrect, or misgiving facts, I would appreciate if you would stop me, correct me, and I will apologize and move forward. But this is how I have read these things. This is from looking things up and from being on this commission. But I do not remember lowering taxes anywhere on all the lines. Mueller's no-build draft ordinance passed unanimously at Thursday City Commission meeting. I have no idea what a no-build draft ordinance, unless you're talking about the interchange at Avalon Road, where staff did a lot of the work in doing all of that. My efforts have included securing the land that links Dr. Bradford Park with Newton Park. We did that May the 24th, 2018, and that started with Mike talking to the owner of the land years before that and said, when you're ready to sell, call us, we would like to get it. I remember Mike talking to me back, and I don't remember the year, but we closed on that 2018, 3 years before you were on the commission. Advancing the acquisition of 2 pivotal plots in Pavilion Park. The best I know, Mr. Anthony called John and said that he had an offer on those. He was willing for the city to purchase those. John called me. I assume he called some others. We voted on it as a city commission and approved that. Spearheading the ambitious $25 million development of Tucker Ranch. Secured $25 million for the new Tucker Ranch, leveraging $13 million in corporate donations. Once again, I'm confused on the $13 million in corporate donations. Don't know where. I know that we used the ARPA money, which was probably around $14 million. Healthy West Orange, back in 2020, gave us $6 million. Advent, who we've been talking with for several years, as well as Health Central, came up with $1.2 million. Negotiating the purchase of the CenturyLink lot on Plant Street. I know you didn't like the way it looked, but the negotiations were started back in 2019, 2020, I believe by Mr. Williams, and I believe Mr. Williams, Ed Williams, handled all of that, the negotiations and the contract. sponsored a mutual agreement with Orange County to resurface the road and turn over to the city on Avalon. That, there was no involvement efforts for turning over county roads initiated, it was all initiated by the staff, back in 2021, and I do remember, I think John and I going over with, meeting with, Mayor Demings and Mr. Brooks, talking about several items. One was, turning over of Avalon Road and other county roads. Most notably, Ron's strategic initiative has saved our local neighborhoods over $4 million in the last 3 years. Saved residents $2.5 million in liens, penalties, and interest left behind by previous developers. This was a code violation that staff worked extremely hard on getting rectified. And once they did, as we do on so many of that, then they brought it to the city commission, told us that they had all the issues worked out, and asked us to forgive the liens and penalties of which we as a city commission did. Blocked the development of 66 townhomes on Avalon. I guess it's our definition of block. It's not blocked, this was just tabled that night. Blocked the expansion of Circle K from 1,800 to 5,000 square feet. Once again, it's your definition of block. This was not blocked, it was just postponed to a date uncertain. Driving the initiative, you have Winter Garden Fire Department transport patients directly to hospitals. This was started by the fire chief and city manager 2014. We looked at it around 2019, started taking it serious. Ms. Long, probably give us a couple different financial packages on it, where we estimated the expenses, estimated revenues, trying to understand what % of revenues we would actually collect. So this was a long process that our staff worked very hard on and brought it to the city commission. Went back and forth a few times before we passed it. One of them stated, I've initiated a new plan to begin in 2023 where city staff outlines the annual schedule as opposed to each single event. My understanding is from staff that they did this. For fiscal year 2025, I've asked the city manager to include a dedicated team working under the parks that is solely responsible for selecting, planning, and executing special events. I asked our city manager because some of that is going to add personnel, and that has come to the budget process, the city commission, and we're all cognizant of our number of employees. I guess the point of this is, in reading a couple of things, you know, you didn't want to bring Washington to Winter Garden. You talked about unifying and unity, and you talked about getting the truth out there to all of our constituents. And I just, you just take it away from our staff in this commission. Our staff does a wonderful job, and to read this, I just don't know how that makes them feel, because they make our job so much easier because of the great job that they do. That's what I think credit needs to be. And not to one person. One person cannot do anything. It takes 3 votes on the city commission. And I guess I just kept getting this stuff till I just got frustrated. And, you know, I laid awake a long time last night thinking about this. And I just think we need to make it public and say, thank you, staff. Thank you, our city commission, for what you do. It takes all of us working together. We always don't all agree on things, but we sit down, we talk back and forth, and we come up with a resolution. And we do that because we work together in a business, professional, and respectful manner. And for that, I'm appreciative. And I'll be quiet.